All right, Lindsey Beckham, it's
Yeah,
time.
let's
Justin
do it.
L. I see my Kimberly and Justin have jumped in the live chat. Good morning to you guys as well. Let's talk about Carly Gregg. I want to say something. I did my whole live stream the other day, and I forgot to mention the prosecution.
They did a phenomenal job. I think they're gonna come on the podcast.
That's great. Was it Catherine Newman?
Yes, Catherine Newman and Michael Smith.
I couldn't find his name in the news in the articles. It mentioned Catherine. So I just want to give a shout out to the prosecution, the entire and their staff over at the Madison Rankin DA's office, Bubba Bramlett, the whole team over there. I think Judge Dewey Arthur did a great job
Mhm.
for what I think is the right sentencing. And sometimes you got to make big boy decisions. And
Yeah.
Sean talked about this the other day as a former prosecutor. There's some cases you don't want to prosecute because it's just sad. It's just the whole situation is bad. But you got to put on your big boy pants and you got to do what the law says do as a prosecutor, as a judge. And I thought both really, really did a great job.
Yeah.
And I've had a few days to think about this, and I actually have less sympathy for Carly than I probably had going into it. I think that she has showed that video.
It's
Going back
just
and
so
watching it,
telling. It's so telling. She can't possibly say she didn't know what she was doing or that she didn't remember what had happened. It is very, very clear that she knew exactly what she was doing.
she's a cold, calculated killer. Cold, calloused, and calculated.
Mhm.
She knew what she was going to do. She
Absolutely.
had made her mind up, and that was not as spontaneous as it had initially been described.
Yeah.
They were not having a knockdown drag out in the kitchen. Of course, I'm not saying anybody ever said they were, but just in your mind, you assume that's what was happening.
I can imagine they had some sort of altercation in the vehicle and this is speculation, obviously, on the way home. And, Carly knew that someone had told her mom about some things that she was doing, some things that were going on that her friends were concerned about. And she knew exactly what her mom was about to do. And she was going to go and search her room and, find the things that Carly knew she was going to find. And she got angry and shot her mom in the face, and it blows my mind that someone can go to that stage.
So she fired the gun, 3 or 4 times. She shot her 3 times. Is that right?
Yes.
2 in the head, 1 in the face, 2 in the face, 1 in the head, neck,
Something like
something.
that, yeah.
It's a moot point. Some people were in my live stream the other day with Kingfish, and we played the video and discussed it with the chatters. Some people were convinced they could hear her screaming in the background. I don't think so.
You can hear there's there's the first shot, and then you hear the mom scream, and then you hear 2 more shots go off, and you hear nothing after that. Now, you can hear Carly screaming on the video when the stepdad walks into the house, and
Gotcha.
you just hear someone screaming out, like, just crazy, crazy screams, and they ask him on the stand, who was screaming, and he said it was Carly.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of clips that were sent to me. They took the time out to clip some stuff out, send it to me last night. I haven't emailed it over to myself yet, but we got all show. But Court TV did an interview, or Crime and Order TV, one of these Law and Order TV shows,
Yeah.
YouTube channels did an interview with the defense after the trial.
Mhm.
And now one thing that has jumped out at me is this: she has been sitting in solitary confinement for now 186 days.
I mean, that's enough to make anybody crazy.
I mean, now look, I don't have sympathy for her getting the sentence that she got, but I got sympathy for an individual being stuck in solitary confinement for 186 days.
That's torture.
Also, I was a little bit critical of her lack of facial expression during the verdict.
Mhm.
Her just looking very disheveled. According to the attorneys in the clips I have, they've had her loaded up on antidepressants, and I'm sure she needs
Mood
them.
stabilizers.
Mood stabilizers, basically Alexapro and that type stuff, SSRIs, and
along with Abilify, I think, which is the mood stabilizer that they say you've got to be on in order for the antidepressants to actually do their job. And I don't know what it is that she actually the mental type of illness that she actually does have. Obviously, she's crazy, but like we were saying earlier, she knew what she was doing. So I don't think it was a sort of mental illness where she had some sort of mental break and can't remember what happened. I think that was just a part of the defense.
I agree. I agree. You'll see here. Julie asked, "Does anybody know why they had cameras in their house? That's strange to me." Julie, I brought that same thing up. Julie's watching on Facebook.
I do. I have cameras in my house. I mean, I have young kids, and if I'm not there, I want to be able to see what's going on.
Makes all the sense. Also, a single woman, or you know what I mean by single.
Yeah,
A man not living in the house. I don't have a problem with that. And
yeah,
some people want cameras in the house. I feel like I'm exposing myself here a little bit, but I prefer my stuff on the outside. I don't want to accidentally record something I don't want to record in that house.
yeah.
You know what I mean? As a single guy, you know, I'm just saying,
Oh, this is a family-friendly show.
I
Like,
want to be
come on
careful. I want to be careful about what gets recorded in the house. But I mean,
Yeah.
I've thought about getting one mainly just to watch the dogs because
Yeah.
I find them wildly entertaining. Honestly, I've thought about just putting a camera on the dogs and just letting it run on YouTube 24/7. It's
See how many viewers you get.
yeah, it's like let's make some money on this thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Julie, I thought the same thing. I felt that was a little weird, but I don't know. I guess other people's situation is different.
Yeah, and I
And
mean, it may very well be because they knew she
she's
was having
crazy.
some issues, and
Yeah.
they wanted to make sure if she was home by herself that she wasn't, doing anything to harm herself or anyone else for that matter. I don't feel sorry for her. I do believe the sentence. I do believe the verdict was correct. I do think that she should have had a defense attorney that properly defended her, and by that I mean, you know, prepared for the case, read the discovery, you wasn't searching herself on Facebook at 1 a.m. before going in to give closing arguments and arguing with people on Facebook. Yeah, that to me just shouts that she was this defense attorney, Bridget Todd, was all in this
Who is this
for good.
again?
She was the defense attorney for Carly,
What's her name?
Bridget
All
Todd.
right, just want to make sure we got that out there for the public.
Yes, and so there are some strange things that have happened that I have learned, allegedly took place, such as I know that they did this pro bono. A lot of people were saying that Carly's family was paying for the defense. Evidently, they worked on this case pro bono. Allegedly, Bridget Todd showed up at the jail shortly after this happened, after Carly was arrested, and told the jail that she was the attorney for Carly, although the family had never met with her, didn't know who she was. And that's how she began talking with Carly. Also, shortly, I don't know if this was when the trial was going on or shortly before the trial, but the jailers allegedly found in Carly's cell a drawing or a cartoon, something that Bridget Todd, this attorney, had given to Carly that was a goose or a duck, something along those lines with a knife through the beak and said something like, "We're going to get them." And it was signed Bridget Todd. And I'm just sitting here thinking, what on earth is wrong with these people? I mean, maybe we need to put both of them in Whitfield.
I've also heard that she allegedly has a history of showing up constantly trying to adopt these kids, and she gets keep being told no at these kind of situations.
It's
I don't
it's
know.
all very strange. I can't since my Facebook post, Clay, I cannot tell you the people who have reached out to me privately to tell me the horrible things that woman has done to them and their families. It's insane that there are that many people that have issues with this woman.
Yeah. So we're getting close to the break. I don't want to jump into all the nuts and bolts of that Facebook drama, but I do want to jump into the nuts and bolts of it because I think it paints a picture of the mindset of the defense going into closing arguments.
Right.
Because it's frankly just strange that you're up at 1 a.m. the day before such an important decision.
I can see maybe not being able to sleep, but to be
you're searching you're searching your news clippings
yeah.
and social media stuff. I don't know. I don't do that. I don't Google myself. I mean, I've had to do it a time or two just for some research stuff, but to kind of see how my SEO stuff is working.
Mhm.
But I don't make it a habit to Google. I don't read my comments on under Instagram and TikTok and usually Facebook either.
But to be able to find a post that you're not even tagged in,
Yeah,
you're obviously searching.
sure. And it's strange. Let's see here. let's circle back to a couple of the commenters here on the live stream. Several other people confirm they have cameras in the house. Like I said, I think that is a personal decision there.
Yeah.
Kind of, what's your situation? What do you want recorded? I got camera. Obviously, I use my home as a studio as well, so I've got a camera going a good bit of time anyway. I just like when it's off, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see needing one. Hey, look, if I lived in Jackson or somewhere I felt like was more crime prone,
Yeah.
I would absolutely have cameras in the house, because if I gotta eradicate this earth of a bad guy, of a little Chakwe Lumumba supporter, I want to be able to prove that it was self-defense, other than the fact that
What are
them being
those
in my
called?
house uninvited.
Community improvement
Community
killings.
improvement killings. I want to be able to prove that that's exactly what it was. Let's see here. Ryan says he's got cameras everywhere in his apartment. Mary asked, did anybody see how she giggled with her stepdad when he told her he loved her? I guess that would have been in the
It was,
trial.
yes, the looks were very strange. I know a lot of people seem to think that there might have been something more going on there. I don't believe that's the case. I think everyone grieves differently, and maybe that's just what's happening. He's grieving. He doesn't know, and it's also shocking. Probably doesn't know how to feel, where to turn.
I want to defend the stepdad here for a minute. This may come back to bite me in the butt. Frankly, when you're standing there and a camera's on you, and the cameras are looking at you, it's awkward.
Mhm.
Like I made a joke this week, but I don't know what to do with my hands when I take pictures nowadays. If I don't have my arms kind of wrapped around somebody, my hands are just sitting there like basically just doing jazz hands, and it can be awkward. The camera can catch you looking really weird or even creepy at times.
Mhm.
Also, you got to take into account what this guy's been through. And I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say that any of these online, these rumors and innuendo are not true for now, because I think it would have come out by now.
Yeah,
Because
I don't believe there's
it would
anything
have
like
been
that.
used in the defense if it was true.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm going to say that it's not true, and I think that the DA's office out there in Madison, Rankin County, Bubba Bramlett's office,
They would have uncovered that
they
by
would have
now.
already uncovered that. They would have wanted to know if that was true, because
Mhm.
they're not going to play with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they take that kind of stuff very seriously. So I'm just going to say that is rumor, and we need to probably squash that. But with that said, this guy just lost his wife.
Yeah.
The stepdaughter, who he considered like a daughter of his own,
Mhm.
from all reports, they had a very good relationship.
Yeah.
Tried to kill him.
Right.
He got shot. Now the wife is dead. The stepdaughter's going to prison, and he's here by himself for the rest of his life, or till he finds somebody else. Let's just be honest. After going through that, I don't know if it's going to be
I
hard to hit the
know.
reset button.
Well,
And then,
there
you
were,
got people out there spreading rumors about you,
yeah.
that you somehow could have been having some kind of inappropriate relationship with a 14-year-old.
Well, there was the body cam that showed her asking, "Is my stepdad okay?" And a lot of people thought that may have meant something, but I think she just didn't know if she killed him or not,
Yeah.
and she wanted to know if he was dead.
Well, she knows she tried to.
Right. So,
You
I mean,
know,
that
so
also tells us that she knew what she was
yeah.
doing. She knew what she did.
Yeah, well, she knows she tried to. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I want to discuss the sentencing, and I want to get into Lindsay telling us about the Facebook fight that she had with the defense attorney at 1 a.m. in the morning the night before the verdict. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Lindsay Beckham. If you're watching online, stay on. We're going to do during the breaks, it's Reddit style, ask us anything, and we will talk to you guys live during the break instead of nothing. So we'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. When we come back too, man, I'm going to tell you what's for lunch today at some of our great Blue Plate sponsors.